Hey everyone, welcome to your super fast guide from MindUp. This is a really clever card game for 2 to 6 players where, well, you'll need to read your opponent's minds to come out on top.
And I mean fast. In the next few minutes, we're going to cover everything you need to know so you can jump right into your first game.
All right, first things first, what's your objective? I mean, what are you actually trying to do in this game?
It's actually pretty simple. The goal is to have the most points after 3 rounds of play. And how do you do that? Well, you'll be collecting cards of different colors and arranging them just right in your scoring area to really, maximize their value.
Okay, next up, let's talk about the setup. Getting this game on the table is super quick and easy.
Setup is just 3 quick steps. You'll deal the hands, create what's called the center row, and set up your scoring cards. Let's break that down.
So first up, everyone gets a hand of 7 cards to start the round. Make sure you keep them secret, right? These are the cards you're going to use to claim new ones from the middle.
Next, you're going to create the center row. This is easy. You just reveal cards from the deck equal to the number of players. So, if you're playing a 4-player game, you will flip over 4 cards. Then, just line them up in ascending order. Think of this as the prize row everyone's trying to get cards from.
And for the final setup step, each player gets their own set of 5 scoring cards. So one person shuffles theirs to create a random order, and then everybody else copies that exact same order. This little row in front of you is super important because it determines the point value for the cards you collect.
Okay, you're all set up and ready to go. Now for the fun part. Let's dive into how to actually play.
So remember that center row we made? The whole game revolves around it. The main idea, the really crucial point, is this. You're going to play a card from your hand to take a card from that center row.
So a turn has 4 simple steps. You'll select a card, reveal all cards, place those played cards, and then take a card. And here's the really cool part. Everyone does all of this at the exact same time.
Okay, so here's how it works. Everyone simultaneously chooses one card from their hand and puts it face down. Then, on the count of 3, or whatever you decide, everyone flips their chosen card over. This is that moment of truth, right? You're trying to outthink everyone else to get the card you want. Once all those cards are revealed, you just arrange them in a new row right below the center row. And you do this in ascending order, so the lowest number card goes on the far left.
And here it is. This is the whole shebang. Each player now takes the card from the center row that is directly above the card they just played. See how that works? It's genius. If you played the lowest card, you get the leftmost card from the center row. If you played the highest card, you get the rightmost one. The card you play determines the card you take. Okay, so you've got your new card. What do you do with it? You place it in your personal scoring area, on top of one of your scoring cards. Now listen up, because this placement rule is absolutely crucial. If you already have a column of that same color, you have to add it to that column. But if it's a new color for you, you have to start a new column, and it must be in the first empty space you have from the left.
You're going to keep doing this turn after turn until everyone has just 1 card left in their hand. That means you've played 6 cards. At that point, the round is over. Oh, and here's a cool little twist. The cards that you all just played, they become the new center row for the very next round. But before we get to that, it's time to score. All right, scoring and winning. Let's see how all those cards you've been collecting actually turn into points.
So you'll score each of your 5 columns one by one. It's just simple multiplication. You take the number of cards you collected in a column and you multiply it by the value of the scoring card underneath it. So in this example, right, you've got 3 orange cards in the column with a 5-value scoring card. So 3 times 5, that's 15 points. Easy.
But wait, we're not quite done. You might have noticed these little bubbles on some of the cards. These are your bonuses and malices. So after you've scored your columns, just add up any of the plus points and subtract any of the minus points to get your final score for the round.
So going back to our example, once you add up all the column points and factor in those little bonuses, this player ends up with a total of 25 points for the round.
And you'll do that whole process for 3 full rounds. At the very end, just add up your scores from all 3 rounds. And, surprise, surprise, the player with the highest total score wins the game.
Now, once you've played a game or two and you feel comfortable, there's a really cool optional rule you can add in for some extra strategic fun.
It's called bonus objectives. With this, you'll flip over one of these special cards at the start of each round. And this gives everyone a new shared goal for that round. For example, you might get extra points for having cards in all 5 colors, or for getting green cards into a specific column. It really changes things up and offers new ways to score, which is a great way to keep your strategy fresh.
And really, that's everything. You now know all the rules you need to play your first game of Mind Up. So I guess the only question left is, what card are you going to play first? Go have fun with it.